G'day everybody, my name is Elliot Waters and you're listening to the Dysregulated podcast. As always, thank you for tuning in. Today's episode, I'm just checking in quickly to say I went for my first run in months. If you listen to the previous episode, I said how after I recorded that episode I was going to go for a run, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to say that is exactly why I'm reporting in, because I went for that run. So timeline of events, I recorded the episode breaking the rules, then I went for the run, and now I'm back on the airwaves again, basically boasting at how great I am because I went for that run like I said I would. Although there's nothing really to boast because that was absolutely pathetic. I am humbled. I am absolutely humbled. And look, to be honest, it's how I expected it to go. You know, I'm not living in dreamland. I know how much I've neglected myself, my physique, my fitness, my physical fitness. You know, I'm under no illusions of the neglect that I've put myself through. But it was good to get the first run done here because, I need to sit with this feeling of embarrassment, because I don't want to feel like this again. I don't want to feel as lightheaded as I am either. And all the sweating that I've got and all this stuff. My legs are shaking and they're sore. And I reckon I went for about 900 metres. And I reckon half of it was spent walking. I'm not even joking. Like, that's how unfit I am. And it's pretty scary. Like I said, I expected it, but for it to be confirmed, it's like, damn. You know, and this is coming from me, who used to be a sub 3 hour marathon runner, a sub 40-minute 10K runner, a former state representative for New South Wales. You know, like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't elite or anything, but, you know, I was half decent. But you wouldn't pick it today with the way I was dragging my fat backside around, that's for sure, and this big gut that I'm looking at right now. Oh, man. But the good thing is I ran, or at least I tried to. I shuffled along, and, you know, it's been done, and hopefully that'll be the worst one, and the rest will just get easier from here. That was hard. That was really hard because at this point, and I sort of noticed this at the gym too, but today especially, and any cardio work I've done sort of recently, I was on the rowing machine the other day, same sort of thing. Because I'm so unfit, I do not enjoy any of this. Like that, like I used to enjoy, I ran every day. So yeah, I used to quite enjoy running. It was, it's tough, hard work. I'd run long distances and push myself as hard as I could. And I wasn't jogging. Like every run was a race, even if it was just me. That's just, I don't know, it's just how I approach these things. I'll tell you what, if today was a race, I'd definitely come last. That's for sure. But yeah, like running, I've typically enjoyed it. It's been a, difficult but enjoyable activity of mine. There was no enjoyment today at all. On the rowing machine the other day, there was no enjoyment whatsoever. The gym, I've now been 7 days in a row. I'm starting to sort of enjoy that a bit more because, my whole body's not shaking when I do like one set of bench press. Like, hello, what's going on? But yeah, that's why I think it's hard for not just me at the moment, but other people as well who are trying to get into this sort of stuff, because it's not fun to begin with. It's not fun. There's no runner's high when you're running 900 metres shuffling along and walking half of it. There's no runner's high. There's no second wind. It's just torture, just dragging my feet along. My legs felt so heavy and they were shaking. They still are. No enjoyment whatsoever, but I can take pride in the fact that it's done. The dopamine is sort of hitting now, which is good, a little bit. There's not much dopamine though, because I sort of achieved something, but I also know how long this journey has got left. Because I've neglected myself for too long by eating fat food, vaping, drinking energy drinks, having sausage rolls from the servo and iced coffees full of sugar. I have neglected myself for a very, very long time, and it's about time I stop doing that. And that's the plan. That's why I'm at Ishmu, to get back into these good healthy habits and routines. The gym was the first one, or has been the first one, and I've been going consistently now for 7 days in a row, which is good. So that's starting to become habitual. The next step, at least as far as my sort of physical domain is concerned, the next step is cardio work. And for me, it's running. Running is my thing, or it used to be. So running is the next step, and that's what I have done today, as terrible as it was. But hey, I did it, and it is a starting point. It's a very low base. So the good news is you would expect, hopefully, that, every run after this has got to be better. It's got to be better. They can't get worse than this. Like, I didn't even really run. Like, how can the runs get worse when this wasn't even really a run? It was, I don't know what it was. I'm glad that, I don't know, I didn't see anyone. Where I am, for a bit of context, I'm running at a place called Glenrock Nature Reserve here it's sort of in the middle of Newcastle, but it's like a bush track, national park sort of stuff. Really beautiful. And when I was growing up as a kid and a teenager, because I don't live that far away from here, I used to run up here and ride push bikes, run, Saturday, Sunday, I'd be up at Glenrock, in the sun or in the rain, in the wind, didn't matter, winter, summer, whatever, I'd be up here doing, giving it my all, whether it was push bike riding or running or whatever. I was here all the time. This was my second home. So I sort of chose to come here on purpose because I wanted this to be embarrassing. I wanted it to be embarrassing, and it was. I wanted, while I was running, to compare. Now, this probably isn't healthy. I don't know if this is healthy. Okay, I've said on this show before, and numerous other people say this, and it's so true. You don't compare yourself to your peak back in the day. You compare yourself to who you were yesterday. And if you keep doing that, you'll see incremental improvements, and eventually you will overtake your former best self. That's the idea. But I really thought, and I did think, and I think this is true, that I really, really, really needed to sit with this feeling of embarrassment, shame even. So I decided to go where I used to go and absolutely dominate. Like, I'd be up here running for 2-3 hours at a time and doing like 4-minute 20 Ks, up and down, hills and stuff. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, especially as a, mid-teenager and stuff. Well, that's pretty good as a 16-year-old. So I wanted to compare myself as I was running today to then, because I really wanted to sort of stick the knife in myself and say, listen, this is where we're at now. This is unbelievable. You've been neglecting yourself for too long. This is embarrassing. We've got to do something about it. So that's sort of the mentality behind, and the other reason is it's beautiful up here as well. I just love running up here. It's funny, when I used to run here so I'm 33 now. When I used to run up here as a teenager, there would be, I don't know, like a fifth of the amount of people that there is like today. Like, it's packed, there's cars everywhere, push bikes everywhere, kids screaming and yelling, and parents yelling at them to slow down, don't cross the road. See, when I used to come up here, it was like my zen zone. It'd be like just me, and it'd be so peaceful. Me and the birds. It'd be peaceful. You could hear the rustling of the trees and the leaves, and, or if it was raining, you could hear the pitter patter of my feet. I could hear that, my feet, as I'm running along, which was very mindful, which is something I used to do long before I knew what mindfulness was, which was listen to my footsteps as I was beating the pavement. So, yeah, there you go. But the point I'm making is, when I used to come up here, there was no one here. And now there's people everywhere. People have discovered my secret Zen zone, and they're trashing it. But yes, so up here has a lot of good memories, and today I've created a pretty bad one. But at the same time, I completed what I set out to do, which was just put the shoes on and just do something. And it was definitely something, that's for sure. I don't know what it was, but it's done. And am I feeling a bit of dopamine, a little bit of endorphins, a little bit. But as I said, it's very hard to achieve the runner's high when you shuffle along for 900 meters. Like, you got to do more than that. So, I'm being realistic about these things. I'm well aware that these first few are going to hurt a lot, and they're not going to be fun. Like, again, that wasn't fun. I had no enjoyment in that at all. Not just because I was beating myself up for not being everything I could be as a runner. It was also the fact that my legs hurt, my lungs are burning. I need to stop vaping, which I am trying to stop. It just wasn't fun. It just wasn't fun. Another quick thing though, before I go, that I noticed as well, and I'm gonna do a bit of research in this. It only just occurred to me in this very short. I did a lot of thinking for such a short run. I did a lot of thinking, which is good. But I was thinking to myself, my attention on this task, and the gym's the same, is so fleeting. And really, what I feel, it isn't. So in the order of sort of coming to consciousness today. So, yeah, the legs were hurting, the lungs were burning, all that sort of stuff, and I was sort of ripping into myself about how good I used to be compared to I am now. All that was going on. But before that even started, I felt boredom. Like I was bored. 200 meters into it, I was bored. And when I was when I was at the gym the other day, same thing, I was getting bored. So what I do at the gym at the moment is, like, I'm doing my sets really quickly. I'm having like no rest. I'm doing like 8 reps, boom, 30 seconds rest, if you're lucky, bang, straight into it. And I do a lot of drop sets because I don't allow myself the time to recover to be able to stick at the same weight. Anyway. But what I'm finding is my attention span is so short at the moment when it comes to these activities, and it's this feeling of boredom that I get. To me, that's an ADHD sort of response, but I'm wondering, like, is maybe I'm just sort of putting it out there. If you've got an opinion on this or you feel the same or whatever, please let me know. That'd be great. Elliot.t.waters on Instagram. But I do wonder if when I'm under stress, physical stress, mental stress, whatever, the mental stress part, I think we already know, but I think the physical might contribute to this as well. I don't know if this phenomena has really been sort of researched or spoken about, not that I'm aware of. Anyway, what I'm saying is stay on task, Elliot. Stay on task. What was I going to say? I'm not even kidding. What was it? Attention and physical stuff. Yeah. So I'm wondering if when I or other people with ADHD are under immense physical loads, so like my 900 meter shuffle just then, I'm assuming, well, this is true. If an organism's under stress or if a human's under stress, our walls, our boundaries and our strength and everything sort of suffers. That's a terrible way to explain it. What am I trying to say? My strength in my psyche at not diverting attention around everywhere by keeping myself on track. I'm thinking when I'm under physical duress that my ability to keep myself, into line is diminished because a lot of my energy is going towards, my legs because I'm running so much and I'm thinking about how much I'm breathing and how it's killing me. I think what happens is when I'm under stress like that, my attention jumps around a bit and I get bored very quickly because, according to that part of my psyche, we don't want to be under stress. We want to be relaxed and, feeling good. So let's not concentrate on the thing that's causing us pain, which could be bench pressing or going for a 900 meter shuffle. Let's try and focus on something else. And then further to that point, my part of the psyche, ADHD, let's say, if I'm going to personify it, which I love doing, of course, my ADHD might be going, okay, we're under stress. I want to divert attention away from that to something else. Or there's nothing else in our environment that we can really focus on because all our energy is going towards this stress. So I'm just going to self-destruct and go into boredom mode. So Elliot, the organism, then shuts down because he's bored, and then we stop doing whatever we're doing. It's like it's ADHD's trump card. When something's happening, and the ADHD doesn't agree, which is often for me, it'll come out with this trump card, which is boredom, and it causes me to self-destruct not self-destruct, but you know what I mean. This boredom, it makes me lose all motivation and inspiration I had for whatever I was doing at that time. The boredom knocks that all away, and then it's like, we all know what boredom feels like. And then all of a sudden, I just can't be bothered doing this running, and that's probably when I started walking because I was feeling bored. I was like, this sucks, I'm bored. That's what the ADHD was whispering in my ear. And because I'm unfit at the moment, I'm not strong enough to be able to run and also push this feeling of boredom and ADHD, keep it into line at the same time. I'm not strong enough, I'm not fit enough. But the only way to get to that point where I can control my ADHD and say, no, we're focusing on this task right now, right here, right now. The only way I think I can do that while I'm running or while I'm at the gym or whatever is just to get fitter and stronger. So the actual activity itself isn't so painful. There's a bit more positivity coming from whatever I'm doing. And then that is then fuel for me to push back against the ADHD that's trying to divert my attention. And if it can't do that, then use the trump card, make me bored, and then hope that I stop because of that. Wow, does that make sense? I don't know if any of that makes sense, but that's just something I'm sort of thinking here. I think the endorphins are kicked in about when I started talking about that little point, then I noticed I don't know if you guys noticed, but it feels to me that I've started talking a bit quicker. I've got more pressured speech, which funnily enough is an ADHD thing. But I reckon, I don't know if you can hear that, but I feel like my speech is a bit more pressured, and I think it's because the endorphins are starting to hit, because all of a sudden, I'm not even joking, all of a sudden, literally, I've got a bit of a smile on my face because I'm like, yeah, I did go for that run. How good's that? So there you go. In real time, I've gone from like being embarrassed and humbled to actually patting myself on the back and saying, good work, Elliot, at least you did it. Because the only bad run is the one that you don't do. And that shuffle, that counts. I don't know. Elliot's back, baby. Okay. The endorphins are definitely hitting now. All right. Well, that's enough blabbering from me. I don't know if any of that makes sense. But if you guys also, if you guys feel the same, I'm curious about this whole boredom thing, the ADHD thing, making things boring so you stop doing them. I want to flesh that out a little bit. So if any of you guys have experienced that phenomena, please let me know. That would be awesome. All right, thank you everybody for listening. I've got to go. I've got to have a shower. I've got to lay down. I'm in a lot of pain, but I guess I'm victorious in a way, sort of. Anyway, we're counting it. We're back. That was the first run back. Go, Elliot, go. All right, thank you everybody. If you want to contact me, like I said, please do on Instagram at elliot.t.waters. You can follow the show on your favourite podcasting platform as well. Subscribe, give us a like. A rating would be great because it's good for the algorithm as well. And, of course, you can share it around with your mates. All right, thank you, everybody, and I'll see you next time on the Dysregulated podcast.